Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Second cast of the afternoon, guys, to make up for yesterday. And I did have a few questions yesterday regarding the cast and what time was it going to be uploaded and everything. And obviously, most people weren't in the know. The best way, guys, if you want to find out what's going on, the easiest way is to like my Facebook page. I always put a note up there regarding issues I have if I can't get a cast uploaded and if I'm planning to do double ups like today. So if you do use Facebook and you can bear to have your real life name associated with something to do with gaming, I highly recommend you do that. Of course, if you haven't done so already, do like the Forged Alliance Forever page as well. It's a great place to get other media from other casters and general news about server stuff too. Anyway, on to the second game. It's going to be a ladder match, and it's going to take place on Fields of Thunder version 2. And if I listen very carefully, I think I can hear the players gating in. So let's head on over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Of course, the map, as always, needing little or no introduction. Casted a few on this one already, but the players do, and they rightly deserve it, especially this guy up here. It's my good friend and fellow caster, TA4life, going red Aeon, opening first land, all very standard, and his opponent down here at the bottom, UES's Iron Tony, and he's going Cybran, opening first land as well. Incidentally, guys, another little message. I did mention a previous cast about the brainchild. Haha, it's what I did there. The new Revolution tourney. I'm planning to be heavily involved in that as I can. And if you haven't already looked at the forum post, please do check it out, because it will be an all-encompassing tournament. That is to say, it will be involving people from all skill levels, except perhaps brand new newbies, because it will be hard to find a team, I think, if you're new to the community and new to the game. But like I say, it's a good thing to check out. So the forum post has been made, the initial forum post, and I did put it in another description for another video earlier as well, but I'll try and remember to do it in this one. Guys, it should be in the description below this video. If I haven't done it, feel free to yell at me in the comments and I will make sure I do it. Memory is not my strong suit, as you guys probably have noticed by now. But anyway, back to the game. You can see TA4life is moving out with a couple of spirits. That's going to give him some nice early intel there. And those first two blips should become available on the scope, so he's going to be well aware of what's going on. That looked to be a mantis and a mole. Indeed it is. There is an aurora there ready to intercept. I think with all likelihood we're probably going to see a little bit of camping going on. It's the initial maneuvers on this map. You sit there and wait and hope that an engineer befouls your path, but it's probably not going to happen now that TA4life has seen that, and you've got to expect that that sort of thing is going to be happening anyway. And he hides the other spirit up here over the brow of this hillock, which I rather like. It's pretty cool. Lots of reclaim on this map as well. We saw TA mention that earlier. Very sportsmanlike. Lots of reclaim on this one, just in case his opponent wasn't aware. And that's TA all over. He's such a nice bloke. It's all about the a true sopcommer, all about the game. Love that business. But a little attempt at a run by coming in now. Has managed to snag potentially, no, he hasn't yet. He didn't grab a kill. Sorry, that was the mole that went down. A little bit of micro, though, now manages to get him one aurora kill. 26 hit points left on that mantis. He's going to bug out, head for home. His tour of duty is over. Iron Tony pushing forward with his ACU. Going to deny these two mexes TA put up earlier. And managed to hold on to one of his. So that's some nice early bullying work from Tony, considering he's also rocking the Cybran Commander. It has 1,000 less hit points on it than the Aeon. That's nice work. That's nice intimidation. Good to see. But a couple of Auroras making it through on the left-hand side for TA, snagging a unit there. Looked like a Mantis. Could potentially grab this Mole and this Mex as well. But units pouring over to the left-hand side to try and stop that from happening. We have got some bombers out for TA, who already has pretty significant spam going on. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 land factories, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 queued up, 10 queued up total, and an air factory. All very nice to see. Against 1, 2, 3, 4 land factories, queued up some more there for Iron Tony, but no commitment on the air game at all from Iron Tony. He's completely skipping that. He's going hardcore land for this one. And it looks like TA has paused his work on interceptors and bombers for the moment, but he still has one operational. How's he doing? He's got 2 kills on it already. The question is, were they engineers or just random T1 units? But lots of units on the field already for Iron Tony, and his commander's actually other side of TA. There's a chance to shed quite a few HP off TA's comm here if Tony is aggressive. Down goes that next, the right-hand side. TA taking a little bit of Sky Slammer fire in the mix there as well. It's quite well aimed. Tony going to aggressively move forward and pop those Auroras. Of course, with the commander shots, it's much harder for the Aeon. 2 commander blasts there will take out Aurora. It'll take 3 of TA's shots to neutralize a Mantis. But Iron Tony, of course, at that deficit initially of that 1000 HP is quite weak, down to around 5000 hit points. Nice little push there from Tony, though, evens it out slightly. TA backs up, he's on around 6600, so nice little exchange there between these 2 guys early on. But if you look at the map control that Tony's got his hands on, he's grabbed 2 extra mechs already. He could grab these other 2 at any time. This one is always going to be in jeopardy, I think. But if he can keep his comm around this area, he might be able to hold on to this one for a while. And yet it's not reflected in the score. These guys both, or sorry, in the eco, these guys both sitting at 17 mass a pop. So doing rather nicely there for TA4life, despite having ceded a little bit on map control. Of course, that would all change if Tony can get a couple of engineers in the mix in here to snag these other mass points. Of course, there's one all the way down here as well, so TA's been a lot more effective at mass expansion. Needs to be more engineers on the field for Tony. Huge fan of this build, especially on a map with this much reclaim. Feels like he is missing out somewhat. I bet TA4life is ahead on reclaim already. 3,400 for TA, 1,000 for Iron Tony. So Tony's going very aggressive, and that's why he's got a lot of units on the field. And yes, it's cleaned him the map control, but he's losing out in terms of reclaim, and he's also not making the best use of the map control he's gained. He's not been able to snag these mass points. And now TA4life moving forward with a little bit of a counter-attack here. Needs to micro, of course, continuously on those Auroras. Makes life ever so much harder as far as I'm concerned going Aeon. Much rather be one of these click and move and forget races. Suits my style of... I'm not sure if laziness is a style, but it's my style. It's my kind of style. But TA4life coming forward with another probing attack, leading towards his commander. Still in the yellow, 8,100 HP. Could do with finishing off that next. I'm sure he will. There it goes. Lots of Medusas in the mix, though. My goodness. Needs to be careful to avoid that fire as best he can. Now another beefy engagement kicking off in the middle. You see Iron Tony just ahead now on mass. 21 plays 17. But he may well be ahead on mass. But the question is, how is he doing on reclaim? He's caught up significantly, so he's sitting on around 4,500 mass, and you can see he's got a huge amount, he's floating a huge amount of mass in his mass bar. So could definitely do with getting more production power in with that, and he has managed to upgrade one of his factories, so he is ahead in the tech game. Not seeing any T2 factories in the mix yet for TA, and him falling behind in the tech game as well as being behind in map control is not a good place to be in. He's coming forward, and he needs to be really careful here. He is on around 50% of his HP, 6,000 odd hit points. Iron Tony's coming in, focusing on him quite heavily, could potentially be sensing this is where he gets a kill, but he doesn't want to overextend, lose all his units and get caught, so he reprioritizes on the units instead. A few engineers going pop in there for TA as they try and get their hands on yet more mass. But now this is going to be crucial. Wagner's into the mix. Huge alpha. See him prioritizing TA's commander there with that Wagner. wants to land those big heavy shots. Of course, Wagner's have a tendency to overkill on T1. You want to be mixing them up with rhinos as best you can. Hoplites, of course, for the range. But whatever he's doing for the moment, it's working. He's forcing TA4life back out onto his sort of quadrant of the map, really. And still not seeing any T2 on the field. But a nice little run by happening down here from TA. Whole group of Auroras in the mix, moving to the right-hand side of the map. Oh no, a whole bunch of build capacity getting snagged. Those are units Iron Tony cannot afford to lose, and especially not all of these ones sitting around his T2 factory. He needs those more than ever. There's now Wagner in the mix here, which will help to finish those off, and I don't think TA is going to grab any more significant kills there. But look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential mass points, all out of commission for Tony. He's actually down on mass, which is amazing when you consider how dominant he's been in the middle, and TA4life sitting back in around 6,200 HP. Can't really afford to engage too heavily, and yet he's still managing to stay ahead. And so good at expanding, so good at grabbing those mexes. And those 4 engineers that died down here, that is a catastrophe for Tony. That would have helped him get back into the game much, much quicker. And once again, some more bomber play coming out from TA, and it all serves to kind of disrupt his enemy, keep him faffing around in the middle. And engineers coming across the map from TA4life now, looking to potentially snag a mex and steal some more reclaim. They are going to get this one on the left-hand side. TA4life just doing a much better job with the eco on this map. 8,600 reclaim for Iron Tony, 8,600 for TA4life, so they're now dead even on reclaim, and also dead even on mass. The question is, has TA rectified the tech deficit? He's not currently upgrading one, I don't think, to T2. He is not currently, so still at a tech deficit. Having said that, there's not a great deal of tech in this mix. We've got a couple of Wagners on the field. I really do want to see some rhinos in there as well. Once again, 4 mass points just not being used, and look at all this reclaim that TA4life is now going to steal with these 2 engineers. Doesn't matter that he's going to lose that mass point. This reclaim, the here and now, is more valuable. Has he gone ahead? 10,000 against 9,000. So he has pulled ahead once more, and I suspect he will continue to do so. All the rock fields up here are still good to go. He can get an engineer in amongst those. Still hasn't decided to start a tech upgrade, and this is the part that gets me about these guys, when they know to go for that upgrade. He is floating quite a lot of mass. He hasn't got a great deal of power, though. He's not currently working on any more power spam or anything like that, so I was just thinking twice about plowing too much eco into that. And now we're seeing some fervors in the mix now as well for TA, which is nice to see. Mixing things up, giving some extra range now to his units. Nice little bombing run coming in from TA as well. That engineer in danger of going down as collateral damage once that mass point receives a few more airstrikes. TA4life looking incredibly healthy compared to how he has done in the rest of this match. 65 kills, 12,000 HP. Tony on an upgrade here. Let's see what that is in just a second. Now a large engagement going down in the middle. Mixes of hoplites in there. Occasional Wagner. We've got reducers in there for Tony, and it's again looking like he's securing the middle. He's certainly keeping TA away from him long enough for him to finish that upgrade. Let's just see what was on that commander. It was the T2 engineering suite. TA switching it up, getting some static D at the top of the map here, preventing these units from pushing up top and potentially coming in around the back. More power plants being thrown down at the back there for TA, and he has used most of that mass he's gleaned recently, and he has got, no, he hasn't. Unreal. Unbelievable how late. No, there we go. So he has got a T2 land factory in play, starting on a T2 engineer. Do a lot worse than to get an Oblivion turret up here or something and stop these units pushing any further in. But that's considerably later. I mean, that looked like 10 or 12 minutes later than Tony had his T2 factory. Shows you the variation in build orders in this game, and he's not been doing worse either. Cerberus turrets going down, getting a little bit of a point defense creep down here for Iron Tony, throwing down defensive structures in the middle. And finally, this engineer, could he be about to get taken out? Who knows? Doesn't look like it. And look how bold this area is looking now. TA has hoovered up most of that mass. Still that rock field up the top. 18,000 reclaimed for TA, 15,000 for Tony. A gulf of difference between them at the moment. Finally, we're seeing some units roll off the pad, and their evensongs, the T2 mobile missile launchers for Aeon, looking to range Tony's forces even more than he has been with those fervors. He's also got a couple of Obsidians in the mix. I love the Obsidians. I know I've said that many, many times, but sexiest gun noise in the game. Except for maybe the Tempest and the Aeon battleships in general. Betraying my UEF sensibilities now, but I would, like I say, I would be an Aeon player if I could play. It is such a difficult thing to do. It seems difficult at the front. And then a nice rank of veterancy there from TA puts him up to virtually full health. He's not going to be wanting to get too close to these Cerberus turrets. I think that was the purpose of these evensongs. I'm going to be able to take those down at range. Tony's going to want to think about getting some zappers up in here. Capacity vulnerable at the front here. He's got to be careful not to stray that into Cerberus turret range. And now another engagement over on the right hand side, and Tony seems to have the better of this one. Popped units left, right and centre here for TA. Obsidian is going to work in the mix there. This is quite a major push. And Tony's going to want to kill these evensongs, get rid of these mobile missile launchers, get rid of them out of the mix. But as I was saying earlier, nice to see some Oblivion turrets on this ridge here. That gives you an excellent firing solution down into the gully. Give him some cover, prevent Tony from moving too far up the map. And Tony running out of units. He's taking point defense fire from all sides. Finally, the two T1 PDs, the Eruptors up here at the top, have been taken out. But at what cost? Tony has thrown away a whole horde of units. Yes, there are more coming in. 22 minutes gone in this game. Engineers down here to the left with some bombers in the area. That'd be nice to see if TA can manage to get those, but they're making a run in at the T2 factory. Oh, those are some engineers that are absolutely begging for it. TA focusing on these mass points instead. And to be fair, 31 mass plays 21. TA is well ahead in the mass game so far. Still taking a lot of Cerberus fire, and it's a lot of distance. It's a long walk to get up there to finish it off with the commander. He has got an asylum in the area now, though, to give some shield coverage to his con, but that hasn't lasted very long, and now he's taking an awful lot of fire, down to around 8,000 HP. These Wagners focusing on him pretty hard. Another asylum in the mix. That shield yields every time. His forces are depleting, and it doesn't seem like TA is losing as many units. Either that, or he is replenishing at a faster rate than his opponent. Still, Tony looking severely healthier than TA. Another facet of the higher level gameplay is how comfortable they are with their commanders on low levels of health, sitting right at the front, using it as a tool right to the bitter end. Of course, you really have to, because your opponent's going to have to, and if you don't, then you're going to auto lose. That's why Galactic War is going to be so interesting. People have something to lose by losing their commander, not just the game, but standing in the general game, the meta game. Perhaps people will be discouraged from putting their commander so close to the front lines. Can't wait to see how that develops. Donators, of course, do have early access, and if you haven't donated already, guys, I believe you still can. Just have a look on the forums. Still donate through PayPal. Now a really large push happening, and I think that could be Iron Tony broken, and he doesn't even know how. 31 mass income to 17 mass. That's how come, despite TA being on the back foot, he was never really that far behind over the course of the whole game. He has just been better with his eco all round. And as TA4life says, reclaim. Let's take a look at how that sits, actually. 29,000 for TA, 19,000 for Iron Tony. That's a huge difference. And TA4life promptly announcing it in chat. Tony saying how much, so I didn't really need to mention that at all. But yeah, that just shows you how much Reclaim can win games, and that is why BC Blackheart is so good. His Reclaim is always phenomenal. It's a helpful tip for all you Joes out there. Reclaim wins games. This is just a perfect example. And Tony well and truly broken now, painted into his corner of the desert. Self-destructing build capacity, or getting it bombed. I think he's getting it bombed. No point in blowing it up now, not for a couple of T1 bombers. Surprised that TA didn't make a run at that earlier. Been an easy thing to do and stem the tide of the T2 he was going to be facing at, but not that it matters. He has won anyway. Very little amounts of T1 anti-air static in Iron Tony's base. He's been relying on Sky Slammers as and when he's needed them, but very nicely played TA. Slowly, bit by bit, Tony's base gets torn apart. In come the even songs. Volleys of missiles away, going straight after Iron Tony's commander, doing a little bit of micro to avoid those Obsidians coming in. Does he still have access to overcharge? Yes, he does. But it really isn't going to matter now. Micro all you like, sir. You ain't getting out of this one. So much fire coming in his way. He's phenomenally well to last this long, and eventually he goes pop. Very, very well played, TA. Just shows you, if you're better at eco, just because you lose the center or you lose a bit of map control, it's not over. And that's a very nice illustration of how to play a game once you've lost the middle. Just eco, eco, eco. and reclaim. Anyway, guys, once again, I hope you enjoyed that. As always, more to come from me in the future. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.